Welcome. Let's work on strengthening around your hips and your glutes. We are going to start lying down. So once you come onto your mat, you can just have your props off the side of your mat. But once you come to your mat back, bend your knees and place your feet closer to your bottom. Just take your arms down by your sides and maybe walk one shoulder blade and then the other down your back so they feel like they rest a little bit more flat. I'm going to push into your feet and start to lift your hips from your mat. Stay here. Squeeze your bottom. Just feel it. If your knees are still in line with your hips or if they flared open, just notice that. Lower your bottom back down to your mat. This time we're going to try to keep your knees in line with your hips, right? With a little bit of space between your thighs, push into your feet, lift your hips up. So stay right here. Notice if your knees have flared open, just try to draw them back towards one another. Squeeze your glutes. Take a slight tuck of your chin so you feel long on the back of your neck. Stay here. Squeeze. Breathe in. And on your exhale, lower your bottom down to your mat. All right, take your peace fingers, your index and middle fingers, and place them on the front of your pelvis. So you feel this bony protrusion here on the front, right? We're just going to rock your pelvis forward and back. So think about your tailbone as it draws down towards your mat and then scoops up between your legs. In this movement, you can also pay attention to your low back. Notice how when you lift your tailbone, your low back presses closer to your mat, and when you point your tailbone down, your low back lifts. Go back and forth. All right, the next time your low back presses and connects to your mat, keep it there, right? Keep this position with your pelvis. Then take your arms down by your sides. Is your tailbone still up? Is your low back still connected to your mat? Hopefully. Now push into your feet and lift your hips up. Stay here, squeeze your bottom. Squeeze, hold for 3, hold for 2, hold last 1, and lower down. Once you lower down, just relax, turn everything off. And when you turn everything off, did you notice how your pelvis kind of shifted forward a little bit? Let's do that again. So press your low back down towards your mat, arms down by your sides. Squeeze your bottom first. Push into your feet, lift your hips up. Stay here and hold this for 3 with your knees in line with your hips and your ankles for 2. Last breath in. Slow, lower your bottom back down to your mat. Very nice job. Roll onto the right side of your body. When you roll onto the right side of your body, you're going to rest your head on your right arm and then stack your legs on top of one another. So you'll want a bend in your knees with your left leg on top of your right. You can have your left hand either in front of you or your hand on your hip. I like in front of me. I'm just going to lift your left leg from your right. So when you lift your left leg from your right, you are not tilting back. You are not turning your chest towards the ceiling. Everything stays still. You're just moving at your hip socket, right? And then lower your top leg down to your bottom leg. And do it again. Lift up and lower. And just notice how much range you have here. Lift your left leg and lower. Let's do it one more time. Lift your left leg. Now stay here with the left leg up. See how this feels. You can either stay here in stillness or you can start to pulse your left leg up towards the ceiling. And as you pulse your left leg, remember the only movement happens at your hip socket, right? Your pelvis stays still. You just pulse for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it here. Last one. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Lower your left leg down. Notice how your left hip feels, right? We'll turn onto your back and then turn onto the left side of your body. Just stack your legs on top of one another. Again, you can have your right hand on your hip just to keep yourself honest, right? Keep your pelvis still. Or you can have your right hand in front of you. I'll show with my hand on my hip this side. Lift your top leg, right? And then notice how my pelvis does not move. You're going to keep yours still. Lower. Do it again. Just lift and lower. I'm going to lift your top leg. Lower it down. I'm going to do it for 3 and lower, for 2 and lower. And this last one will keep your top leg up, right? See what you feel right here on the outside of your hip. Maybe you stay still or maybe you pulse. And again, the movement only happens at your hip socket for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it 1 for 3, 2, and 1. Lower your top leg down. Turn onto your back. When you turn onto your back, just reposition yourself so you're at the center of your mat. Rest your hands on top of your belly and then cross your right leg over your left leg so your thighs squeeze together and sway your knees side to side. When you sway your knees side to side, we're not going all the way left or all the way right. We're just staying right in the center. Maybe see when you sway your knees to the left if you feel a little bit of stretch on the outside of your right hip. And then come back to center, uncross your legs, switch left thigh over your right thigh. And just a little bit of movement with your knees side to side. What do you feel on the outside of your left hip? All right, come back to center, uncross your left leg from your right. We're going to walk your feet wider than your hips and rest your knees against one another. So the feeling should be that there's no effort in the lower half of your body. Your legs just rest against one another, hands on your belly. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. And while you pause here, could you notice how engaged you feel in the lower half of your body? Maybe you just feel like more awareness in the lower half of your body than the upper half. Take a big stretch. Reach your arms over your head, behind you, from your waist out through your fingertips. Just feel a little bit longer. All right, and then bring your arms down by your sides. Turn to one side. It doesn't matter which side you turn to, and push yourself up to a seat. Once you come to a seat, take the seat that feels right for you, either cross legs or legs out straight. Breathe in, breathe out. Place your palms together to touch in front of your heart to seal this practice. Take a deep breath in through your nose and either whisper or say to yourself, Namaste. Thank you for showing up for this class where we worked on targeting your hips. You might feel a little bit more aware of your hips going forward. So like and subscribe so that you are notified when another class drops. Good to see you.